News starts right now.
And we begin with a buoy backlash. The installation of buoys along areas of the Rio Grande where migrant crossings are more frequent will take weeks. Meanwhile, the state's new effort of securing the border causing an uproar among migrant groups and environmentalists, and now a small business owner who says these giant buoys are not only impacting business, they're damaging the river.
But I tell you what, when it comes to our community, when it comes to our river, when it comes to my passion in life of being on the river, I'm here to defend it.
On July 7th, Jesse Fuentes filed a lawsuit against the state of Texas. It's a story like that of David and Goliath. At least that's how Jesse Fuentes puts it.
Our intention was to, prevent these buoys from going in, but now it's going to be hopefully a permanent injunction to get them removed.
Fuentes, who owns a canoe and kayaking business in Eagle Pass, says the state's latest effort in securing the border is doing more harm than good.
And nobody has seen the river when it gets mad. When it gets mad, it has a tremendous watershed on both sides. When the river floods.
For many, the border is political, but for Fuentes, it's personal. He was born and raised along the Rio Grande.
I, for one, am just offended by what's going on and the way our community is made to look like we're a third world country. We're still America. This is Texas. I was born here. I'm an American citizen.
This aerial footage shared by Fuentes shows the public access boat ramp at Shelby Park in 2017 for a canoe and kayaking competition. This week, our cameras capturing a different scene.
As a person of Mexican-American descendants, it hurts me. Me duele. It's my people. It's my gente. I'm determined to see it all the way through. And there's no man that should have that kind of power as far as stepping out of state jurisdiction into a federally protected river.
Reporting Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Now, according to DPS officials, the installment of the marine barrier will play a crucial role in securing the border and hope it serves to deter migrants from crossing into the U.S. illegally. We've reached out to the governor in regards to the lawsuit. We've not received a reply yet. The FBI searching a field in connection to an alleged serial killer who may be tied to murders in San Antonio. This is playing out in Pflugerville, outside of Austin. 62-year-old Raul Mesa was arrested at the end of May after the Pflugerville Police Department charged him with capital murder. According to city officials, Mesa accused of stabbing 80-year-old Jesse Fraga to death at his home in Pflugerville. Investigators say Mesa also confessed to the murder of Gloria Lofton in 2019.
He's harmed my mother. He killed an elderly man. And then what other people in the decade in between?
In all, investigators say Mesa connected to around 10 cold cases dating back to 1996, including a double murder he may have committed right here in San Antonio. Another scorching day in San Antonio, but some families without a place to stay getting some much needed relief from the heat. This morning, Haven for Hope installed a brand new $40,000 AC system inside the chapel on campus. The chapel, a multi-use building that's also being used for families to sleep at night because there are so many people at Haven. It's kind of an overflow area. Temps at night inside that chapel would reach nearly 90 degrees. Local company BLCCS stepped up, donated the entire system to help these families rest at night in cooler temperatures.
They're going to be in an environment that's going to be conducive to their well-being. It's so critical for us.
It's bad enough to have to be in a situation like this. So the last thing I would want is to not have an extra place for them to go.
Haven officials tell us there are more than 20 families that sleep in the chapel on any given night. They see more families during the summer months because kids are out of school and people are looking for water, shade, any relief from the triple-digit temperatures. The heat has already been dangerous this summer. Metro Health just released some new statistics showing that the week ending June 24th had by far the most reported heat-related illnesses of any week since at least 2018. There were 76 reported cases of heat exhaustion, 3 cases of heat stroke. That's far surpassing the 44 cases reported the week prior and in July of last year. That week also includes San Antonio's record-breaking peak heat index of 117, which is what it feels like to your body when you factor in temperature and humidity. Speaking of the heat, amid all these triple-digit days, the work does not stop for construction workers, tradesmen, utility workers. The San Antonio water system has about 40 crews out in the field during the day shift, often at sites in direct sunlight. So Garrett Berger tells us the utility has added some new tools to try to keep their crews cool.
They may work with water all day, but the job sites for SAWS crews are anything but cool.
You're adding 30 degrees to them when they're working the asphalt and there's no shade.
So since about the end of June, the utility has used 4 portable HVAC units powered by diesel generators. It sets the units up where the work is expected to last a while, blowing cool air into a break area and down into the stifling trenches crews have to dig to get at the pipes.
That brings down the temperatures a lot. From triple degree weather down to, it feels like 80s, 70s. It brings it down a lot, a big difference.
SAWS says it's renting 4 of these units at $6K a month each, so $24K in all. But they say they're not blowing money.
They've already paid for themselves. I mean, we had 4 heat-related incidents last year, recordable incidents. We've had 0 this year so far.
SAWS is looking at expanding their use into August, too, and whether it has enough of the units on hand.
I think that we can easily expand it, possibly double it.
Good news for the crews who seem to think the new units are pretty cool.
Nothing but good feedback on it, and it seems like they like it. I mean, I know I wish I had this back in my days, but it is what it is now.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Great idea. Well, with the high heat right now in San Antonio, the city has places open where you can keep cool. Those locations include places like city libraries, community centers. For a map of where those places are, so you can find one close to you, you can head to our website, ksat.com. You can also see the times they are open on our website. Over in El Paso, animals also trying to stay cool during the intense heat wave. Zookeepers at the El Paso Zoo had to get creative. They made ice pops for some of the animals, like the tortoises. They get frozen berries twice a day. The mountain lions prefer blood popsicles. Of course they do. Most of the exhibits have designated air-conditioned spaces for when the animals need relief. There's also misters, both for the animals who want to be out in the sun and visitors at the zoo. Cool off any way you can. 105 out there, and it is, I mean, we're just in the middle of this heat wave.
We are, and it's the real deal heat because it's not just hot outside and record challenging heat, but also we're not getting a break from the humidity as we usually do in the hottest part of the day. But with all that spring rain, we're not getting a big break in the humidity, so that heat index is oppressive. Now, officially, the high temperature in San Antonio today, 106. That's the latest word from the Weather Service. That is just 1 degree shy of the record set back in 2020, just a few years ago. 105 the high in Hondo. Kerrville made it to 103, but check out Cotulla, 109, Del Rio, 107, 108 the high temperature in Carrizo Springs. New Braunfels made it to 106, just like San Antonio. So we're all feeling the heat out there, and keep in mind the average high is 95. Now this evening, we'll see a gradual cool down. I say cool down in air quotes. By 8 o'clock, 100. 10 o'clock, we're at 90 degrees, but increasing humidity at that point. At least we'll have a bit of a breeze out of the southeast at 15 to 20. So it's going to mix the air a little bit and at least get the air moving somewhat. Coming up in a little bit, we'll talk about our temperature trend, where that heat high is going to be centered and how that's going to affect folks out west compared to us in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. It's long been a concern, and teen pregnancy continues to be a concern in South Texas, especially, it seems, in rural areas. UT Health spent the last decade developing a program reducing teen pregnancy in Bexar County. Camelia Juarez tells us how new grant money will be used to bring that programming to surrounding counties.
The rates have gone down, and so we want to continue to sustain some of the programming that's going on here.
Jennifer Todd with UT Health San Antonio spent the last decade developing a sexual education program.
Do you think that's going to be a healthy relationship or an unhealthy one? Sometimes you have both saying like, oh, that's absolutely healthy. Well, I'm not quite sure. Here's some red flags.
Now it has the funding to continue and expand. The Department of Health and Human Services gave UT Health nearly $10 million to partner with organizations across South Texas and share their sex education program. Todd says rural counties have a teen birth rate that is 4 times higher than the national average.
Some of these rural counties have about 56 births per 1,000 females ages 15 to 19 years old. And so that's where we want some of these resources to go to.
UT Health has partnered with the Bexar County Juvenile Probation Center again, sharing their model with Cameron and Hidalgo County. Jill Mata with the Juvenile Probation Center says the grant funding will train more probation officers to be a resource for sexual health.
It's not something that you just do once and then you don't worry about it again.
This sex education program not only offers juveniles in the justice system with healthcare resources, but wraparound wellness resources.
In the justice arena shouldn't be the answer, right? And so the more we can tie kids into supports, community-based supports, the more successful children and families will be.
Camilia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Check out traffic on this Thursday. We're going to take you downtown. I-10 at the Y as you see the people coming and going there and traffic moving along pretty smoothly, although it looks like actually I-10 as you head south, kind of on I-35 there, a little bit of a backup to be worried about.
It's such a blessing.
You're still ahead on the news at 6. Details on Project Men's mission to repair and refurbish badly needed medical equipment that people can afford and how you can help in all this. Here's what we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat. Families wait for justice 6 years after their loved one's death. KSAT investigates the issues that have delayed this case and the Bexar County DA's response to a family's frustration.
And then there was a roach issue.
But I called it with my boss.
This worker needed help from management to explain their recent health code violations. It's not the first time Tim Gerber has tried to find out what's happening behind their kitchen door. And meeting a growing need in a growing community, the Center of Healing and Hope of South Texas opened its door after the Sutherland Springs shooting. Now it's expanding. The new additions, new offerings tonight on the Night Beat at 10. What could be in the back of a closet or out in the garage, that old medical equipment you don't want or need? Well, it could be tax deductible. It also may benefit someone who otherwise couldn't afford to buy it. Jesse DeGuiado tells us Project Men may be in a much larger facility now, but the nonprofit's 30-year mission remains the same.
This may look like a lot, but all this medical equipment donated to Project Mend won't be here very long. Not with the ever-growing demand it's seen over the past 30 years, says CEO Kathy Valdez.
We just serve more and more and more. The number increases, the need increases.
Marguerite Natal's spiffy motorized wheelchair came from Project Mend. She says it also gave her the only taller-than-normal walker they had to help her posture and mobility.
So I was really grateful. I'm really grateful. That's the impact that we make on an individual's life.
But not before donations, regardless of condition, are repaired, refurbished, and sanitized. Only then, they say.
Medical equipment you no longer want or use can make a huge difference in the lives of others.
At virtually no cost, except for a $20 yearly membership fee and a prescription from a medical professional.
We need that person to tell us medically what is it that they need.
Ricarda Alfaro Munoz says what her mother was prescribed improved her quality of life.
It's such a blessing.
Her grandmother agrees. More people ought to donate their unused medical equipment, like the hospital bed she has from Project Mend.
Because that's the way you worship the Lord, by taking care of the elderly and the sick.
Jesse DeGollado, KSAT 12 News.
3 generations helped by Project Mend just in that one shot. Here's how you can help as well. Call into our KSAT Community Phone Bank next Thursday, July 20th, from noon until 10:30 at night. Volunteers will be available to accept your financial gifts to help Project Mend further its mission. They're also going to tell you where you can drop off any wheelchairs or other equipment you'd like to donate. Project Mend's donation drive is a week from Saturday, July 22nd, from 9 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. It's going to be in the parking lot of the Wonderland of the Americas on Fredericksburg Road. All donations, by the way, are tax deductible, and as you can tell, they're also much needed. 104 degrees out there right now as we celebrate a thermometer Thursday, and those thermometers are getting a workout, Adam.
They are, and that's why I have to make them specifically for our climate and make sure they go at least to 111 for the hottest temperature on the thermometers. Otherwise, I don't give them out because that's the hottest temperature we've ever had here in San Antonio. Today, 106. I mentioned that. That's the hottest day so far this year. And here's our tally, 19 100-degree days year to date. Compare that to last year at this time, we already had 35. So yes, it's hot, but it hasn't been as bad as what we had last year in terms of the triple-digit temperatures and triple-digit weather. Last summer, by the way, was the hottest on record for us. Here's a look at the air temperature, the actual measurement in the shade, over grass, in a ventilated area. The official measurements in white, 105 at San Antonio International. The yellow number indicates the heat index, the derived feels like temperature calculated when you factor in the humidity. Feels like 108 in town, even Stinson 106, but feels like 108. Gonzales 101, but feeling like it's 10 degrees warmer with that high humidity. Just a look at the air temperatures. Rock Springs, 99, actually a little bit of break there in the higher elevation, and closer to the Gulf Coast where the humidity is much higher. It's harder for that temperature to warm up as much, so temperatures in the 90s there, but their heat index is way up there, typically in the 1-teens in these conditions. Cotulla 108 right now. Look at the rest of the state. We're feeling the heat. 105 in Midland, Abilene 106, and we're actually pretty similar to what we have out west right now in Las Vegas, 107. Typically, yes, hot locations as well, but they're going to get hotter because the upper level heat high is starting to weaken here and it's drifting westward, and it's really going to take over the western states in the days ahead. So compare us to them, we're going to be more of the same, about 104, 105 for high temperatures. This is Saturday. Vegas 116 is their forecast. That's from the National Weather Service forecast. To put it in perspective, their all-time hottest temperature ever recorded is 117. And the latest update puts them at 118 for the high temperature forecasted in Las Vegas on Sunday. For us, right around 104, 105, more of the same, but feeling like it's closer to 110 when you factor in the humidity. And this is the trend through the weekend and all the way through next week. No big change in our weather pattern expected anytime soon. I wish we could drum up some rain, but really the sweet spot for rain over the past several weeks has been in the panhandle of Texas here. And that's where they're seeing more. It's coming at a cost with severe thunderstorms possible, but at least somebody's getting in on the action. See the split upper level high, which, as I mentioned before, will be taking over and really anchoring itself over the western U.S. So keeping the western U.S. dry. Around here, nothing able to work its way in. The rainfall potential stays all away from south and central Texas. So tomorrow, mostly cloudy early, and then those clouds break. We have a lot of sunshine and it heats up. 80 degrees at 7 a.m. By noon, we're at 94, but feeling like 106. 4 o'clock, we hit about 104 the high, feeling like it's closer to 110. Rio Medina tomorrow, 104. 104 in New Braunfels. Canyon Lake about 102. Utopia, 102 the high. Here we go. Nothing but sunshine in the days ahead. Other than a few hours of clouds early, we'll have sunny days. Not even a glimmer of hope for any rain over the next 10 days. But notice those records. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we expect records to be broken. Record high temperatures to fall here in San Antonio.
All right. Thank you, Adam. Let's turn to sports right now. And the Summer Spurs back in action tonight, right, Larry?
Actually, they play Friday night.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, yeah. So against the Pistons. But we're going to talk about Malachi Branham coming up. He's just 20 years old, but he's one of the leaders on this Las Vegas squad. Plus, Dak Prescott, did he make any offseason changes? Coming up.
Honestly, it means a lot because last year we were the runners-up.
Lydia Portlock and the Reagan Rattlers golf team won the 2023 PGA High School Golf National Invite in Big Board Sports. The Spurs are enjoying 2 days in between games before playing the Pistons tomorrow night in Las Vegas. Tuesday night, the Spurs beat the Wizards 96-85, improving to 2-1 in Sin City. That game saw 13 ties and 14 lead changes. Spurs guard Malachi Branham scored 20 second-half points to push the Spurs to the win. He scored 29 for the game to lead all scorers. Now in his second season, Malachi is one of the leaders on this squad. He's there to improve his own game and to help the younger guys get better.
Yeah, I'm not really big on words, but more just leading an example. But also, when I do talk, I tell the guys if they're not in the right space, just trying to be a leader, like you said, and try to involve the young guys in their first time playing. So it's been good.
The Spurs shut down rookie and number 1 overall draft pick Victor Wembanyama after playing 2 games in Las Vegas. His second one versus the Blazers, the 19-year-old put on a show. Local high school head coach Noe Cantu, who recently left Cole for Judson High School, is excited to watch Wemby play basketball here in the 210.
Yeah, we kind of had a player like that at Cole. We had Vincent Iwuchukwu. He's at USC now, and Vince is 7'1", and I thought that was the tallest guy I've ever seen in my life. And to know that Wemby's 7'4", being as young as he is and as skilled as he is, I think it's something special. One, it's special for the Spurs and it's special for the city. They love basketball here, whether it's high school, professional, and they love the Spurs. So, I'm super excited to see his progression. I think it's going to work out really well. There's not many 7-footers walking around this earth, let alone 7'4".
Spurs will play the Pistons tomorrow night at 8 without Wemby at the Thomas and Mack, and both teams are 2-1.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
Entering his 8th season, Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is hoping to lead the franchise to its 6th Super Bowl championship and first since Super Bowl 30. CBSSports.com lists Dak as the number 1 NFC quarterback facing the most pressure this season. They say his job isn't on the line, but his legacy is. And at this point, Prescott has to prove he can lead the Cowboys past the divisional round of the postseason. The soon-to-be 30-year-old QB was asked at his kids' camp if he's done anything differently, and he tweaks this offseason heading into training camp later this month.
I can't say necessarily, diet or workouts or anything like that. No, just trying to stay healthy, trying to stay on everything on top of the ankle, prehabbing a lot of things. Just, as I said, trying to stay ahead of injuries and keeping my body in the right position, the right place. And, and having fun doing it. As we said, you get into year 8 and you've got to find ways just to continue to make this fun and remember that it's a game as you're continuing to train and push yourself to get better.
Dak and the boys report to Oxnard on Monday, July 24th, and will hold the first practice 2 days later on Wednesday the 26th, and KSAT 12 Sports will be there. Last night we told you about the Reagan Rattlers girls golf team who won the 2023 PGA High School Golf National Invitational. And here's video of the team accepting their championship trophy. The team of Marissa Loya, Lydia Portlock, Camille Pazuki, Maria Ortiz, and Danielle Bailey shot a combined 920 in the 3-day 54-hole tournament in Frisco to win the girls' invite by 35 strokes. So congratulations to the team and the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I was a little nervous when they were handling that trophy. I was like, don't drop it, girls.
Looked pretty heavy, too.
It did look pretty heavy, yeah. Thanks, Larry. All right, coming up after the break, we're going to talk property taxes and politics. Stay with us. I had no idea that all it took to end this special session of the Texas legislature was to have Scott Braddock on as a guest on KSAT Q&A. It's happening as we speak. Scott is, of course, the editor of the Quorum Report. You can find him at quorumreport.com. Scott, in Austin right now, they're basically wrapping up the property tax
it's happening.
bill.
They are, and I would show your viewers this. I'm always sort of at the Capitol. I'm watching the Texas House floor right now. I've been there most of the day. The tax bill has been debated. It's a slate of tax bills that have to do with a homestead exemption for people up to $100,000, as well as tax compression, which we can talk about, and some changes to the way that appraisals are done in Texas. The final speech is being made on this bill right now, so breaking news. We'll be able to tell you in just a little bit what the vote is on this, but I do expect the bills on property taxes to all be passed tonight. And these were unchanged. Republicans today were successful in fighting off some attempts by Democrats to do things like putting more money in the pockets of teachers. It has broken through with people, Steve, that all across the state, people are asking this question. Are you telling me that the state of Texas had more money than ever in its bank account and teachers did not get a pay raise? Is that right? And of course, I tell people, yes, that is right. And when they say, how can that possibly be correct? I'll say, well, how long do you have? We could talk about this whole legislative session and the way that it has played out. The governor, I think, is trying to hold teacher pay raises as something of a bargaining chip for a school voucher debate. Will probably come later in the year after the impeachment trial of Attorney General Ken Paxton. But breaking news here happening right now. on KSAT that these bills are passing, and this legislative session, this special session, is coming to a close.
Yeah, and when you said this special session, you brought up school vouchers. It means we will have another special session likely called by the governor sometime this summer after the impeachment trial, like you said. You talked about compression, and I don't want to get into the ins and outs of exactly what that means, but there's some real concerns that some of the shifting and some of the savings and the homestead exemption and things like that are leading to benefits now that we're going to pay for down the road. Was that debated as part of some of these bills today?
It has come up, and it's a great question. I mean, what the lawmakers in Austin are doing right now is they're taking a record surplus, an extra $33 billion or so that is in the state's bank account or expected to be in the state's bank account over the next 24 months. They're taking that one-time money and they're spending it for an ongoing expense, which is your property taxes and your local school districts. And, it used to be a conservative thing, right, that you would never take one-time money and spend it on something that's going to cost money going into the future. So you have those, including the governor, who have argued that we could take this surplus and try to buy down local property taxes to eventually get rid of them. But as the Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, who is not a liberal, has said, that's a fantasy. That's not going to happen. And it's because of what you just said, going into the future years, 2 years from now, 4 years from now, 6 years from now, a decade from now, we can't count on having a record budget surplus again. That in all likelihood is not going to happen. In fact, in 2 years, what if we're in a recession? I mean, the conservatives have always said you don't spend all the money that's in the bank. You try to leave some there for the hard times. That's why there's been so much hesitation about spending money that's in the rainy day account, the Economic Stabilization Fund. And so, yeah, I think people need to understand whatever's happening now in the Texas House and Senate, and they are passing these property tax bills that will give people some relief over the next 2 years. There's no question about that. But it's a Band-Aid. 2 years from now, 4 years from now, they'll be addressing it again. Steve, you remember in 2019 when the governor was giving speeches about how we were going to fix property taxes in Texas for all time. Well, here we are in 2023, and they're wrestling with this for the last 7 months in the second special session of this legislative year.
Yeah, I think it proved to be a little tougher than maybe both the House and Senate leaders thought it would be this time around. Does this mean that the Lieutenant Governor and the Speaker of the House, Dade Phelan, and the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick have made up? That all of this has been, because they go back and forth pretty hard when we get to legislative sessions.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty clear that these are two guys who don't necessarily like each other. This shouldn't surprise people that there are egos involved when we're talking about politics and people who operate at the highest level of politics. I do think that it's fair to say in this showdown that I described last week at quorumreport.com as a legislative Vietnam, because there just was no movement. And, at some point, somebody had to retreat and get out of there. The person who retreated is Governor Abbott. And I know that it's been portrayed in some media as, hey, look, this is just a compromise where everybody's getting some of what they wanted. That's somewhat true. The Lieutenant Governor is getting the homestead exemption increase, which he wanted. The Speaker is getting, something done on appraisals, which he wanted. And there is tax compression in the plan, which the governor had been calling for. But the governor is the one who really lost here. This is the first time we've seen Governor Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Patrick have it out in a public way on a big public policy issue. And the governor is the only one of the big three who was calling for all or nothing, Steve. Remember, he was the only one saying that the only thing that the legislature should pass is a bill that has to do with tax compression. The lieutenant governor said, yeah, we'll do tax compression, but we also want the homestead exemptions. And the speaker said, yeah, we'll do the tax compression, but we want to do something on appraisals. Abbott was the only one saying all or nothing. And he had to retreat from that position.
Yeah, it was interesting to see Dan Patrick and the governor, who usually are lockstep or basically going at each other in this whole thing. And school vouchers could be the same thing, where they'll be going after each other. Right? I want to talk about State Senator Roland Gutierrez. He announced this week that he is going to run for the Democratic nomination for United States Senator, taking on Colin Allred. If he wins that, he will take on Senator Ted Cruz. Do you think Roland Gutierrez has a shot in all this?
I do. I was looking at the voting patterns in the last U.S. Senate races and governor's races over the last decade. And one thing that is fascinating to me is that you might remember in 2014, you had Senator Wendy Davis, who ran for governor against Greg Abbott. She underperformed a bit in her primary election because, remember, there was a Latino candidate who took votes from her in South Texas. And then if you look at what happened in subsequent elections, when there have been Latino candidates in Democratic primaries in this state who didn't even have any money and couldn't even run ads. Those Latino candidates did take money away from sort of the preferred candidate of the Democratic Party or the Democratic establishment. And so this is a race where you're going to have a Latino candidate in Roland Gutierrez, who is going to have money, going up against an African-American candidate from Dallas who also has money. I think that on the last reports, the last announcement from Colin Allred's campaign up in Dallas, he said he had raised $6 million, which is a pretty big haul for a Texas Democrat. We're not sure what kind of numbers you're going to see as far as fundraising from Senator Gutierrez just yet, but I think there are going to be and is going to be a lot of interest in this. There are going to be a lot of contributions coming in for somebody like Gutierrez, who has been on national media for the last year talking about the tragedy in Uvalde, which of course he featured that in that rollout video for his campaign that you were just showing here on KSAT. And so I think it's going to be a spirited primary for the Democratic nomination. And think of it this way. You've got a guy from San Antonio, Gutierrez. You've got a guy from Dallas, Dallas-Fort Worth, in Colin Allred. That makes the battlegrounds places like Austin and Houston, where both of them are going to have to work it really hard, because in those places, folks don't know who they are.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Could you make the argument that more people know who Roland Gutierrez is now statewide than people who know Colin Allred?
Without any data to back this up, I'll just say that, at some point when you have heard enough from various people, and I know that the pollsters will hate when I say this, but if you take enough anecdotes, eventually it leads to data. I'm not saying that the plural of anecdote is data, but I do think that folks have seen a person have a meltdown about a tragedy on their television for the last year. That guy was Roland Gutierrez. It's not Colin Allred. And look, when you have, so many, we have almost 40 members of Congress who are from Texas across the state. People don't know who those members of Congress are. And in fairness to Allred, people don't know who state senators are either. But I'm trying to think of the last time we ever had a state senator with as much national attention as Gutierrez. And collectively over the last year, I would say it would be on par with the short time that Wendy Davis was in the national spotlight about a decade ago, when she ended up being the Democratic nominee for governor.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of, but probably the most comparable was when Wendy Davis spoke for so long on the Senate floor. All right, Scott Braddock. Yep, editor with the Quorum Report at quorumreport.com. Always appreciate your insight and your timeliness, especially today.
Good to see you. Talk soon.
Take care. We'll be right back.